Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
And we begin tonight with news of a $12 million deficit. That's what the South San Antonio Independent School District is facing.
A money crunch and financial struggles are not new for South San. The district is now looking at ways to solve this latest problem. RJ
Marquez with how the district got here and what a local teachers association believes can be done about it.
This video is from a special community meeting South San Antonio ISD held on Monday to let people know about the financial issues facing the district.
But this is the data that we cannot deny.
Officials say the district is looking at a reported $12 million deficit and has seen a 20% decline in student enrollment in the past 10 years.
Our district doesn't seem to realize that they are in competition. And if you're in competition, you go out and bring those students back.
Tom Cummings is the executive director for the South San Antonio American Federation of Teachers. He says they are aware of the deficit, but feel like drastic measures like consolidating or closing schools should not be taken.
We're opposed to closing schools. We are very much in favor of neighborhood schools.
District officials told people in the meeting it's operating below capacity, and reopening schools like West Campus cost them millions of dollars. Cummins says that those are legitimate concerns, but wants the district to seek more money from the Texas legislature
to rehabilitate those schools and draw the students back in. West Campus is a growing entity. Eventually, it will fill those buildings.
He also wants the district to consider a tax reauthorization election.
If it was passed by the community, would bring in approximately $7 million a year. Property taxes would have gone up approximately $5 to $7 a month per household.
Another option discussed in that meeting was to reduce salaries or eliminate positions within the district altogether. Now, no decisions have been made, and the district will hold another community meeting on March 6th. The district superintendent also declined to comment to us earlier today. RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Powerful stories of survival and calls for change. Families of the Robb Elementary victims and survivors of that shooting led a march to call on lawmakers to change gun laws. It happened on the steps of the Capitol for Day of Advocacy. And our Lee Waldman joins us live in Austin this evening. And Lee, what they have been asking for, it has been consistent now for 9 months.
Exactly, and we heard it clearly today. The people directly impacted by the Robb tragedy are asking that the age to buy an assault-style weapon be raised and that background checks be increased. One of the youngest advocates spoke directly to Governor Greg Abbott.
As soon as we got to our class, we heard the gunshots. He wobbled my
The memories of the day that changed her life are hard for 10-year-old Caitlin Gonzalez to share. The grief and fear have a lasting impact.
He shot at my door and a bullet went over my head. I remember hearing my best friend scream, and I remember hugging her that morning.
Caitlin lost her friends Jackie Cáceres and Eliana Torres. Standing with their families at the Capitol Tuesday, she called on Governor Greg Abbott to change gun laws.
I shouldn't have to be here right now, but I am, because my friends don't have a voice no more. Greg Abbott's done nothing to protect me or my friends.
Caitlin and the other families from Uvalde took their fight inside to the lawmakers' offices directly. It's a fight Rosianna Stone has been in for almost 5 years since the Santa Fe High School shooting took her son, Chris.
He's a hero in his own skin. He saved 7 people that day, and I know that if he had the chance, he'd do it all over.
Stone says she's heartbroken and angry that more wasn't done after the Santa Fe shooting to keep the Robb shooting from happening.
We just need changes, any kind of changes. Anything's better than nothing.
Do your job! Do your job!
We're here to tell this governor to beg this governor and others like him to do something.
Do something! Do something!
No one from today's rally met directly with Governor Greg Abbott. My email to Abbott's office asking for a statement on the rally yesterday still has not been answered. Last October, Governor Abbott said it was unconstitutional to raise the age to buy a semi-automatic weapon. However, Florida's governor did just that after the Parkland shooting killed 17 people. Live at the state capitol, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Lee. San Antonio police say a targeted drive-by shooting has claimed the life of one man, left another one in the hospital. Both are said to be in their 30s. All of this happening just east of downtown. Two men standing in front of a food mart off of Burnett and North Walters. That's when police say suspects in a white car drove up and unloaded more than 60 shots. At this time, they're still looking for the suspects. Chief William McManus tells us he doesn't know what the motive of the shooting is yet, but that clearly the suspects wanted those two men dead.
I can only say that I'm assuming that they wanted to make sure that they were hitting what they were shooting at.
The chief adds no other bystander or property was hit but that food mart. The food mart did take a significant amount of damage in all this.
We have learned that a man shot while sitting inside of a car is now hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. This is a story we first told you about last night on the Night Beat. The 29-year-old man was in that car with two others when he was shot on the route. That's not far from New Sulphur Springs Road in Loop 410. An 18-year-old was also shot and taken to a hospital in critical condition. Police told us last night that one person was taken in for questioning, but we have since learned that that person has been released.
We now know the identity of a man shot in the parking lot of a bar on Sunday night, 51-year-old Felipe Pena. That's according to the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office. The shooting happening outside 11:30 p.m. at the Morales Ice House on Frio City Road. That's close to Highway 90 in South Calaveras. San Antonio police say Pena was shot in the parking lot and somehow made it back inside the bar before collapsing. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police arrested one person in connection with the case.
New details revealed in court today about what led up to a fatal shooting in a West Side motel parking lot. Leopoldo Mora is accused of killing Kenneth Salazar in 2021. Erica Hernandez with testimony from the lead detective on this case.
Is there any doubt in your mind that that is Leopoldo Mora holding up the weapon?
No.
Detective Mark Korn on the stand today to discuss the investigation behind the deadly 2021 shooting of Kenneth Salazar. Leopoldo Mora is accused of fatally shooting Salazar outside the Paradise Motel on the West Side on June 13, 2021. Korn says that surveillance footage was key to the investigation as it showed Mora and Salazar exchange words while Salazar was helping another motel guest fix their vehicle.
I learned the victim was assisting Mr. Chavria in working on a vehicle in the parking lot, and then there was some type of confrontation between him and the suspect, and then shot was fired and the victim was shot.
But during cross-examination, the defense asked the detective if at any point during his investigation, if he was able to determine if Salazar ever threatened Mora because there was no audio on that surveillance footage.
And when he's directly in front of the hood, you can't tell the jurors what exactly he's doing, correct?
Correct.
And you also can't tell the jurors exactly what he's saying.
Correct.
But the state countered the defense, asking the detective if it appeared that Salazar ever threatened Mora.
Did at any point in time you witness in these videos Kenneth Salazar brandishing a weapon?
No.
Did you see him attack Leopoldo Mora?
No.
This case is expected to wrap up soon, with jury deliberations happening as early as tomorrow. If found guilty, Mora is facing up to life in prison. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
San Antonio Police and Crime Stoppers hoping some very clear images of armed robbery suspects will lead to their arrest. The shooting and robbery happened back in October last year on Parkwood Drive near Ritterman Road. Police say 3 suspects entered a business to allegedly rob it and ended up shooting one person inside when they did that. That victim's identified as 44-year-old Simon Estrada, who died days later. 2 other suspects waited outside before the group of 5 took off in a white SUV that you see right there. Anyone with information asked to call tips to 210-224-STOP.
Customs and Border Patrol seizing more than $19 million worth of cocaine after a drug bust along the Texas-Mexico border. This bust happened at the World Trade Bridge in Laredo over the weekend. An officer stopped a Freight-Line tractor trailer carrying a shipment of sofas for inspection. After drug dogs and officers inspected that trailer, they say they found all of this, about 146 pounds of cocaine inside.
1 year ago, CPS Energy raised rates for the first time in 8 years. The utility does not plan on waiting that long again. Garrett Berger joins us live with more details. Garrett, rate hikes are coming. How soon?
Well, within a year, Steve, the CPS Energy tells us that they're looking at February of 2024 for the next rate increase to be in place. Now, this is not new news. They have been talking about this since the last one went into effect. So it hasn't really been a question of if this proposal would come up, but how much it would be. Now, when the rate increase took effect last March, it was a 3.85% increase to the base rates. At the same time, the utility also increased the fuel adjustment charge to recover costs from the 2021 February freeze. But even around that time, as they were talking about that increase, the utility had been planning to have further rate hikes in both 2024 and 2026. The placeholder figure officials used at the time for those planned increases was 5.5%. But what next year's increase would actually be isn't clear yet.
That's what our teams are doing here in the spring and summer, is sharpening our pencil and being able to have that discussion later in the year.
Last year's base rate hike was to pay for staffing, technology improvements, and infrastructure. The CFO thinks similar issues will be part of the discussion for next year's planned increase as well. Now, at the same time, the utility also has a huge backlog of unpaid bills. We're talking $196 million worth of CPS bills that customers have not paid. Now, whether or not that will be taken into consideration as they calculate this proposed rate increase, yet to be seen. Live at CPS headquarters, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
We'll follow what comes next. Thank you, Garrett. Let's take a look outside with live cam. Yeah, plenty of clouds out there for part of the day, but also plenty of warmth as well, Adam.
Yeah, we're feeling the warmth. Today, high temperature of 84 degrees. That's 3 degrees lower than what we had yesterday, but still well above average for this time of year. Actually, 14 degrees above average. Right now, we're 81 at the airport, 82 Hondo, 77 Canyon Lake and Bernie. Temperatures falling off just gradually this evening. 75 at 8 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, we're at 71. Midnight, we'll be in the 60s, but then some fog developing, little bit of dampness to start the day tomorrow with some fog for the morning commute. Something to keep in mind as the humidity will be on the rise. Tomorrow morning temperatures in the mid 60s, 66 here in San Antonio, Bandera at 64 in Floresville, up to about 68 for the morning low. Temperatures do fall off later this week with a cold front. We'll talk about when that arrives, what impact it'll have on temperatures and even rainfall potential in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Adam. It is well known that junk food is bad for us, but there are other kinds of foods equally as bad when it comes to your heart. What foods to avoid when thinking about keeping your heart healthy.
Let's check out traffic right now. TransGuide camera at 410 and Callahan. And it looks like there's some sort of vehicle that's just stalled kind of right there in the median, the concrete median there. And so there's a service vehicle that's put some cones out. None of the lanes are blocked right now, but it's just something to be aware of. It's slowing down traffic, if nothing else.
Welcome back. I'm Stefania Jimenez in the newsroom. Here's what we're working on for you tonight on the Night Beat. So we know that crime and violence have been on the rise here in San Antonio, but here's the thing. It's also beginning to affect our neighboring towns as well. And tonight, how law enforcement officers in smaller towns bordering San Antonio are tackling the spillover in crime. Also, it's been a week since a truck smashed into that pedestrian bridge on Castroville Road, causing it to collapse. Well, now the city says it's planning on rebuilding it. We're going to tell you what steps are being taken before that construction project begins. We'll see you for these stories and a lot more tonight on the Night Beat.
Thanks, Stephanie. Junk food, red meat, sugars, all known to be bad for your heart health. But, and this is not good news, apparently there's even more to add to that list.
Yeah, as we enter the last day of American Heart Month, our Ursula Perry tells us about the food you should think twice about before you eat it, whether you want to protect your health or not.
The cool and refreshing taste of soda can tingle your taste buds, but the added sugars are terrible for your health. Diet soda may seem like a good alternative with 0 sugars and calories, but
there's been some information that shows that actually making that switch doesn't help as much as you think it should.
A study out of France found that regular consumption of artificially sweetened drinks, such as diet soda, increases your risk for heart disease by 20% as compared to non-drinkers. A different study found your risk for diabetes increased by 67%. Another surprising food? Chicken. It's long been thought to be the healthy alternative to red meat, but chickens today contain as much as 10 times the fat compared to the chickens from a century ago, giving them similar levels of saturated fat to beef. These saturated fats can increase your risk for high cholesterol.
Puts people at risk for premature cardiovascular diseases like heart attack and stroke and can be lethal.
That's why the American Heart Association recommends limiting even lean cuts of beef or skinless chicken to less than 6 ounces a day. And think margarine is better than butter? Think again. Margarine contains trans fats, which raises bad cholesterol and lowers good cholesterol, increasing your risk of heart disease. Olive oil and avocado oil are much healthier alternatives. One more food you might grab thinking it's healthy, but it is not heart healthy, are these energy bars. They can contain ultra-processed foods that have corn syrups, added sugars, and citric acid, none of which are necessarily good for your heart and can cause heart disease. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
Let's take a look outside with Sky 12 this evening, flying over Martin Luther King Jr. Plaza, where the statue of the civil rights leader stands. This is just off of Houston Street there on the east side.
Yeah, today, the last day of Black History Month. If you've missed any of our coverage to celebrate the month, you can watch all of them on demand right now on KSAT.com.
Let's talk about the forecast now. Warm out there right now, but we're waiting on a cold front at some point, Adam.
Yeah, the cold front's going to arrive not tomorrow, but by Thursday afternoon and early evening. So the next couple of days are going to be unseasonably warm, both in the morning and the afternoon. No jackets required, that's for sure. Just look at our morning temperature trend. The low temperature, which is usually around sunrise. Tomorrow morning, mid-60s, about 65, 66 in the morning. Same thing on Thursday, but then by Friday, we're back down to 48 at sunrise. Saturday and Sunday, we're in the mid-40s. So noticeably cooler mornings in the days ahead once that front arrives. And that begins on Friday morning. All right, let's talk about afternoon temperatures today. Look at the warmth out there. 97, the high temperature in Laredo. Cotulla topped out at 93 degrees. Neighboring Carrizo Springs, 90, along with Del Rio officially at the airport in San Antonio, 84. Now, tomorrow, this is what we're expecting. We are expecting our first 90-degree day here in San Antonio. Canyon Lake, about 86, Kerrville, 88. But look at this. You get closer to the Rio Grande at 94. Eagle Pass, 95 Cotulla tomorrow, and Laredo, another hot one at 96 degrees. So unseasonably warm considering the average afternoon high is 70 degrees. So we're going to be feeling that spring-like warmth and with a little hint of humidity in the air as well. Von Army 91 tomorrow, Timberwood Park 87, Lavernia about 89. That trend changes, of course, with that cold front that arrives late Thursday. Thursday, still up near 90. The cold front's going to be after we hit the high temperature. And then by Friday, we're looking at the warmest temperature of the day back down to 73 and then 78 for Saturday and Sunday. Actually looking pretty beautiful for outdoor activities this weekend. Comfortable temperatures, mornings in the 40s, afternoons well into the 70s, sunny and low humidity. But we need some rain. We all know that. We need the rain. We're in the thick drought around here. Let's talk about our weather pattern. Nice high clouds streaming overhead, giving us a decent sunset out there this evening. By the way, sunset is about 15 minutes away. So within the next 30 minutes or so, you should be able to get outside. And if you capture some of that beautiful color bouncing off these high clouds that are moving overhead, upload that photo to KSAT Connect via our Weather Authority app. I love to share those with folks. Your vantage point from your part of town. But here's our next weather maker. Of course, it has a lot of moisture with it. It's hitting California, Pacific Northwest, snow moving through the Rockies. That's really not going to give us a whole lot of moisture, unfortunately. This is going to be diving southward and head toward us, but most of its energy is going to stay to the north, East Texas, and then up into the plains and the Mississippi area, that mid-south. That's where we'll see most of the rain. Around here, there is the off chance. We've got to give it about a 20% chance of a brief shower or thunderstorm, a narrow window of opportunity Thursday afternoon into the early evening hours. Better chances east of town where we'll have more conducive conditions, but even then it'd be quick. If we do see one of those thunderstorms pop, it could even become severe east of San Antonio. But you look at the rain and snow accumulation over the next 7 days, who's left out here? Again, unfortunately, this pattern does us no favors. The main headline with this cold front is going to be winds. Look at this wind gust. Tomorrow, maybe gusts to 16 miles per hour. By Thursday, we're talking wind gusts potentially 50 to 55 miles per hour. That's Thursday between about 5 p.m. all the way through sunrise on Friday morning. So very windy with that front and a bit of a temperature drop as well. By the way, morning fog next few days. Plan for that.
Okay, thank you, Adam.
All right, some celebrating going on at TMI. Larry.
Yes, the boys basketball team won the 5A TAP State Championship, and their head coach is Bruce Bowen, 3-time NBA champion, 5-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year. We were there today for the team celebration, and Sunderland AFC is coming to town to play a friendly with SAFC coming up.
We're very excited because we have hometown advantage, and we're the only team from around here that's going to get to sleep in their own beds.
Resting at home in your own bed is the best and will hopefully help Bernie get a good night's sleep Thursday before they hoop Friday night in big board sports. It is Championship Tuesday at TMI, where the school celebrated the boys basketball team for winning the TAPS 5A state championship Saturday afternoon after beating Austin St. Michael's 54-46. Led by head coach and 3-time NBA champion Bruce Bowen, the TMI boys basketball team won their first state title since 1961. The Panthers finished as state runner-up last season, so winning it all this season is extra sweet.
It feels awesome, you know, after losing last year in state, you know, we wanted to run it back, you know, win again, and, you know, we did so, which is awesome.
We set out a goal, state was the goal, and we tried our best to make it happen, and look where we're at now. We made it happen.
We had high goals and high everything for our team. There's high expectations. It doesn't surprise me that we won, but all the hard work and everything that we put into it definitely paid off, and it just means so much.
This championship makes 9 state titles and 7 state runner-ups for TMI sports in the last 4 years. Turning to girls basketball, we stopped by Bernie High School this morning, where the Lady Greyhounds are getting ready for the UIL Class 4A state semifinals at the Alamo Dome. 2 seasons ago, they advanced to the state semis, but those games were held at different venues due to COVID. Now the girls will get to play ball at the Dome, and they're all very excited.
We've played in venues like that before my freshman year and just throughout the course of our season. So I think us being like juniors and seniors, and us having that experience and that team never being there with any other team that they have is going to give us a leg up.
It's not different being on a big stage, but we're experienced enough, and playing in a big venue in front of a lot of people is something that we're not foreign to, and we're super excited.
Bernie is 35-1 and will face 32-5 Sunnyvale in the state semis Friday, 3 p.m. at the Alamo Dome. Now that the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo is over with, the Spurs Rodeo Road Trip will wrap up tonight at the Utah Jazz, the second of back-to-back games with the Salt Lake City club. The Spurs have dropped the franchise record 16 in a row, and after that loss to Utah on Saturday, Keldon Johnson said he loves this team and they will continue to play hard. Tip is tonight at 8. While San Antonio FC is working out and getting ready for the new USL Championship season, they can't help but to be excited for a friendly in July when they host legendary English side Sunderland AFC of the English Football League Championship. The squad is currently in position to advance to a playoff that could see them promoted to the Premier League. Their sporting director is in town and talked with the media today about bringing the club to San Antonio.
I think a lot of the European teams are always looking for new markets. They're always looking for players. They're always looking for talent. And I think obviously where you've got growth markets and you've got leagues that are progressing, naturally there's going to be players in those leagues, and you know, they're going to be potentially available for trade. And you know, it's a competitive marketplace in Europe, and it's a competitive marketplace across the world. And I think, you know, we're always seeking to try to find players that we think can connect and integrate into obviously our league.
That exhibition match is Saturday, July 15th, and Sunderland's only Texas stop of a national tour.
Is Ted Lasso their coach?
Right?
No, it's Richmond.
That's Richmond, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was Sunderland, Richland, I got it.
Our KSAT Q&A is up next. From the San Antonio airport plans to streets to a dog problem in San Antonio. Lots to talk about with Mayor Ron Nirenberg, who joins us for today's KSAT Q&A. Mayor, thanks as always for being here with us on Tuesdays. You know what happened last week that we covered here? An awful attack. Couple of dogs killing a man in his 80s, stray dogs. And we have heard from so many viewers who say this is an issue they deal with in their neighborhoods, either aggressive or stray dogs. What can the city do about it? So we asked some viewers for questions that they had. We want to pose some of those to you. One of them is this: has the city ever considered requiring permits for so-called aggressive breeds? That coming from a viewer this evening.
Yeah, well, first of all, our prayers continue to be with the Nahara family after this really devastating tragedy. And of course, this is a tragedy that should never happen. So very quickly, we obviously ask ourselves what could have been done. I will say that I remember in one instance, a very short-lived conversation about aggressive breed permits writ large for particular breeds. Obviously, people think of pit bulls, but those get quashed down pretty quickly. You know, the city of San Antonio has one of the largest open intakes for shelters, and we deal with aggressive dogs calls all the time. I think we've had 1,000 calls already on aggressive animals. The challenge is, in order for a dog to be deemed dangerous, there has to be a written affidavit filed by a witness to an unprovoked act of violence. So, you know, with these particular dogs that were involved in this mauling last week, there were prior incidents noted, but there wasn't an official affidavit. So those dogs were never deemed dangerous in the sense that we could seize them without an incident. So unfortunately, because of state law, they were returned to the owner after quarantine, and it's private property, and this owner did not exhibit responsibility for his animals, and they were let loose, and this is what happens. So it is a tragedy. We are going to need some assistance from state leaders to fix the loopholes that allow this kind of thing to happen.
And I want to get back. We've got a couple more questions from our viewers that they've sent in for you, Mr. Mayor. But I want to just ask the question about, it strikes me that can we hold owners more responsible in this whole thing? Because, I mean, we're talking about animals here. We're talking about animals that need care, need training. And a lot of times if that's not done properly. Can we hold owners more responsible in all this?
We should. And, you know, I am hopeful that we can, all of us, state and local leaders can take a look at these laws and identify where the gaps are that would allow us better tools to seize animals who have been aggressive, who have been violent, and whose owners don't take care of them. You know, already if a dog is deemed dangerous and those affidavits are filed and it's returned home, the dog is required to be spayed and neutered. They were in this case. You have to have a special license. You also have to have liability insurance, but most importantly, signs need to be posted, and they need to be restrained at all times onto the owner's property. So, you know, in this case, the dogs were let loose, and because there wasn't a previous affidavit signed, we were not able to seize that animal before the attack. So, you know, I'm hopeful that more tools can be identified that would allow us to seize dangerous animals before attacks can occur.
We did get a comment from a viewer, not necessarily a question, but somebody questioning whether the law that the city passed that prohibits the chaining of dogs outside, does that really go towards a detriment of keeping potentially dangerous dogs contained or tied up, not able to, you know, access sidewalks, anybody who's passing by. I'm curious if in your conversations with other city leaders, with ACS since this happened, any solutions that have floated to the top for you, anything that you would like the city council to consider?
You know, that restraint, the law that prohibits chaining of animals on property is actually at the state level as well. So this is, a state and local issue that we've got to solve together. What I think would be very helpful, the affidavit has to be signed by a witness to a violent act. Oftentimes, ACS is called because neighbors are fearful of the animals, and they're also, frankly, fearful of the owners who have those animals. And so if ACS had the legal right to file an affidavit to be a witness to an event, that would be very helpful. In this case, ACS responds, but if they're not actually a witness to an event, they cannot follow through and restrain or take the animal from the owner.
All right, Mr. Mayor, I want to move on quickly to the airport. $20 million, I believe, in funding was approved by the FAA from the federal government to San Antonio to start the process of the new terminal. Is that enough, or where is the rest of the money going to come from?
So this is a long process, and the application that was approved, that the proposal that received $20 million in FAA funding was one aspect of a larger plan. Obviously, we are going through a major redevelopment of the San Antonio International Airport. It's massive. New terminal, runways, ground loading facilities, ingress, egress, the roadways outside of the airport are going to change. And all this, again, is funded through FAA funds as well as airline fees. It's not local taxpayer dollars. So we are going to continue to apply for funds at every cycle. This is good news. This is the largest FAA grant we've received in many, many years. So this is going to enable us to continue on track, on schedule with the ground loading facility, which is just one aspect of the larger plan. But we're going to be back at it at every cycle, filling in those proposals to bring more of those dollars back home to San Antonio.
Mayor Ron Nierenberg, always appreciate your time. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.